guys, Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer. We talk about music, books, and movies. And today, we're going to be playing a book choosing game inspired by one of my all-time favorite booktubers, Everlyn Books and Tea. Now, in case you haven't heard of her, I will be linking her channel in the description so you can see her version of this game. But basically what this game is, it's one of those games where you roll the dice or spin the wheel once, and then you pick a book based on what you get, then you read it, and then you go again and keep going until you get to the end. The board looks a little something like this. As you can see, it's inspired by going on vacation because I am currently on spring break from college, so I thought this would be a fun game to play. So, basically how this is going to work is I'm going to choose 2 of 8 different locations, those locations being all of the continents except Antarctica, and space and fantasy world, so the fantasy and science fiction don't get left out. Basically, I'm just gonna choose 2 of those using a spinner wheel, and then I'm gonna do a virtual dice roll because it's kind of hard for me to get my camera to focus on real life dice. So, we're gonna do a virtual dice roll using a 6-sided die, and we're going to go along this board. And also, you might notice that the squares, triangles, and circles have the words car, plane, and train written on them. That's because there's also a wheel to determine how we're going to get to these destinations. And basically, if we get plane, we only use the spots on the board that say plane on them. And if we, same with car and train, and since this game has been done before by Everlyn Books and Tea, I decided to add my own little thing. In order to choose which book set in those 2 places I am going to read, I put 10 random generators, including random genre, random zodiac sign, etc., on a wheel, and I have to use that to determine which book set in those locations I'm going to read. So yeah, it'll make more sense as we go, I think. So, let's screen record and let's get started. So, one of our locations is going to be Oceania. Let's see what the other one is. Asia. So, Asia or Oceania? I'm probably butchering the name of that. When I was growing up, it was just called Australia, at my house at least. But, yeah, those are our 2 locations. Now let's spin the wheel to decide how we're going to get there. And we're getting there by car, which is the slowest way. There are a total of 9 car tokens on here, whereas there are only 5 plane and 7 train. Meaning, yeah, we could end up with 9 books if I roll nothing but ones the whole time. So, let's do the virtual dice roll now. Right, it was on 3 when I started, so we're gonna hit roll 2. Okay, we're gonna move this little switchblade moving piece to the second card token. And now we are going to choose a random generator. Spotify Shuffle. Okay, we're going to be mixing 2 of the things I talk about on my channel. But here's the thing, I'm not logged into Spotify on my new computer because I haven't used it in a while. So, I'm going to have to take care of that real quick. Hang on, I'll be back as soon as I'm done logging in. Okay, so here's the top of my saved songs from Spotify. I have over 2,000 songs on here. Let's hit the shuffle button, like so, and then let's hit the play button. And it's Whatever You Got, I'm Against It by the Murder Dolls. I have to find a book that's set in Asia or Oceania that reminds me of Whatever You Got, I'm Against It by the Murder Dolls. Oh God, this is gonna take some searching. I'll be back as soon as I'm done searching. Okay, I'm back. I found one and it didn't take me as long as I expected. The book I'm going with is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. Took me a minute to remember the last name there. But anyway, this is apparently a parody of cozy murder mysteries. And the song Whatever You Got, I'm Against It has the line, maybe I kill and maybe I don't. Maybe I will and maybe I won't. Yeah, that sounds like a murder mystery to me. Plus the name of the band is the Murder Dolls. So, that makes it even more fitting, and it is set at, according to what I could find, it's set at a ski resort in Australia. Meaning, and Australia is part of Oceania, so yeah, that counts. So I'm going to get to reading this. I'm going to try to knock it out by the end of tomorrow since it's already 9:30 where I am. But 9:30 at night, I mean. But I'll try to have it knocked out by the end of tomorrow. And we'll see what happens next. I'm going to go read this book. Bye now. Okay, I'm back. I was supposed to finish that book yesterday evening, but turns out I did not get enough sleep the night before, and I just wanted to go to bed. So, yeah. Didn't get much reading done yesterday, though. I did get actually, I got 25% of the book done the night I did that first dice roll, and then I finished another 25% yesterday, but I could have finished more. Today I finished the rest of it. So, what were my thoughts on this book? It was pretty good. It was kind of a parody of murder mysteries with some jokes about their structure, and let's just say that the humor was pretty funny. Like, the Ernest Cunningham, the main character, had a cool, sarcastic voice that I liked, and I did not see the plot twist in this murder mystery coming, which, thumbs up there. And, yeah, the title isn't just clickbait either. Everyone in this guy's family actually has killed someone, albeit for different reasons and in different ways. So, yeah, it was a pretty good book. I love the dark comedy. I give it a 9 out of 10. Anyway, let's bring up the screen recording device and screen record my next spin. My next dice roll, I mean. Oh wow, I got a 6! Now, let's spin for our random generator. We're on the second to last square car circle. So let's see. Random prompt? Hang on while I decide what I'm gonna do about this, because I have not prepared a prompt wheel. Yeah, I know, I'm very prepared. Okay, so I've figured out what I'm gonna do about this. I'm gonna generate a random prompt using this website that was created by fellow booktuber. Let me see what her actual booktube channel is called. Oh, it's Penelope the Paperback Cat. Yeah, that's her YouTube channel name. I'll link her in the description, along with Everland Books and Tea, of course. So, let's generate a prompt and see what I end up with. Mythology inspired. Read a book inspired by mythology. And they have some recommendations here, though I don't think any of those are gonna work for this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of these are set in America or North America or Europe. So, yeah, that ain't gonna work. So, let's do some searching for a book set in Oceania or Asia that has mythology inspiration. Be back after I'm done searching. Okay. After much searching, I finally found an option that I think is actually set in an Asian country and not a made-up world. And it's definitely mythology inspired. Red Winter by Annette Marie. This is apparently an urban fantasy book about a girl named Emmy, judging from what I'm seeing in the synopsis here. There's going to be some Japanese mythology stuff. We'll see what I think of it. I'm probably going to listen to it as my Spotify audiobook. And because I'd like to kind of save my Everand credits if I can help it, because after this I'm going to be participating in Stephanie's Book versus Patreon's 48-hour readathon. So I'd like to have some audiobooks handy for that. So this is going to be on my Spotify audiobook credit. So I'm going to go listen to this. It's the first in a trilogy. We'll see if I enjoy it enough to continue with that trilogy. Bye for now. Okay. Sorry if I seem a little tired this time. I'm recording this after midnight when I would normally be going to bed. But I would like to inform you that on this midnight hour on the 22nd, Sunday, the last day of spring break, I have finished Red Winter. So, this book was actually pretty awesome. It's a nice little young adult fantasy romance inspired by Japanese mythology. The main character is a bit immature, as you would expect with young adult, but I mostly liked her. And the world building was really cool. I thought the concept was pretty unique. And the wintry atmosphere and some of the descriptions of Japan were pretty cool. So, yeah, I give this book a 9 out of 10. And now we're gonna move on to the next roll. The great thing about this is, if I can get a number higher than a 1 on the dice roll, then I can read one more book and this challenge will be over, which I kind of want because I'm currently doing another reading challenge that lasts 48 hours. It involves getting from this end of the board to this one and reading a prompt for everything that's landed on. So, yeah, I'm only 2 books in. I counted Red Winter as one of them. So, yeah, I'd kind of like this reading challenge to be over at this point. So let's hope for something higher than a 1, and let's do our roll. A 6! Oh. And we have made it to the end with that 6. That means we only have to read one more book for this challenge. It still has to be set in Australia or should I say Oceania or Asia. But but for this final spot, I'm not going to use the generator wheel. I can basically mood read a book as long as it's set on one of the 2 continents I ended up with. So, I'm going to try to find a short one that I can read in the 48-hour readathon for maybe the next prompt. Okay. So, after thinking about it, I think I'm actually going to choose a book that I own physically. This is Adam and Evie's Matchmaking Tour by Nora Nagayan, whose name I'm probably butchering. But yeah, I got this in a romance subscription box, and according to the back, it's at least partially set in Vietnam, which is in Asia. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna read this one. And let me read a little bit off the back so I can give you an idea of what the synopsis is. Evie Lang's life is in shambles. On the heels of losing her beloved aunt, she's unceremoniously fired from her poetry professorship by her secret boyfriend. Lacking income and inspiration, she's stuck in Ohio with no idea how to move forward. Until hope arrives in a surprising letter. Auntie Howe left Evie her San Francisco row house, a place full of Evie's happiest memories. The catch? To inherit, she must go on a prearranged matchmaking tour in Vietnam. The last thing Evie wants is to spend time with a group of strangers looking for love, but she can't resist the chance to finally visit her family's native home. A world away, Adam Quine has a chip on his shoulder. He's working around the clock as CMO of his sister's elite matchmaking business. A job complicated by her insistence that he knows nothing about love. He's desperate to prove himself, so when she challenges him to join the inaugural tour, he reluctantly agrees. Adam thinks Evie is chaotic. Evie thinks Adam is uptight. But from the bustling streets of Ho Chi Minh City to the soaring waterfalls of Dalat, they keep getting thrown together, their animosity charged with attraction, and they discover that true love may be out there if they are willing to take a leap. So yeah, we're gonna give this a try, and yeah, this is my final book for this challenge. So, I'm gonna shut this camera off, and I'll see you when I'm done with this book. Just to warn you, because of the 48-hour readathon, there may be some extra books in between, because for the first prompt I got for this, I actually ended up with a book over 400 pages, which Red Winter isn't, so I actually stopped to read Somewhere Beyond the Sea by T.J. Klune, and yeah, that book is a 10 out of 10. Check that one, or should I say check out The House in the Cerulean Sea, which is the first book in that series, if you haven't. And if you like it, check out Somewhere Beyond the Sea as well. So, yeah. I got to Red Winter on the second prompt, though. So, we'll see how long it takes me to get to this one. But rest assured, I will be here to update you when I'm done. Okay. You know how this was supposed to be like a spring break reading challenge? Well, that didn't work out because it's now April 6th and I have just finished the third and final book. Yeah, I finally finished Adam and Evie's matchmaking tour. So, how was it? Well, the plot was pretty predictable. I kind of like the idea of two people going on a matchmaking tour, one of them being the grumpy, rich, Vietnamese CMO of the company, actually, that was doing the tour, that being Adam, and the other one being the bright, sunshiny poet, Evie, from the United States, despite the fact that she does have some Vietnamese ancestry. So, yeah, I kind of like the idea there, but the way it was done just felt predictable and kind of boring. And then the writing kind of sucked. Like, I don't know what it was about the writing, but I just did not care for it. Neither of our characters really invested me much. I mean, they were okay, but nothing really stood out about them, and there were a few moments that I liked and a few other moments where they kind of annoyed me. And then there was the setting. That was the best part, easily. I liked some of the sightseeing they did while on the tour in Vietnam, but I hate to say this, but even that didn't feel as fleshed out as it could have been. Like, the descriptions could have been a bit better there, so I could picture it more vividly in my head. So, yeah, that annoyed me a little bit. That's the main reason it took me so long to read this book. It's because I wasn't really enjoying it all that much, and I kept picking up other books in the middle of it. I did power through it for you guys' sake, but I don't think I'll be picking up any more romance books from this author. Keyword being romance, because in doing my research, I found out that this author actually writes books under another pen name as well, that being Phao Tai. And under that pen name, she writes literary fiction, which actually, her literary fiction gets higher ratings than this does. So maybe I'll give that a chance. And if I don't like that, I'll just give up on the author. Because this was not for me. 5 out of 10. And kind of a disappointing way to end a pretty fun reading challenge. I read 3 books for this challenge, and I enjoyed 2 of them. Those books were Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson for a Spotify Shuffle book set in Australia. Red Winter for a mythology-inspired book from the prompt generator set in Japan. And Adam and Evie's matchmaking tour for the free pick at the end, set in Vietnam. Yeah. Disappointing ending, but at least I had a good time with this game overall. This was fun, actually. check out all the people I mentioned in the description below. And this book will be going to Goodwill. Anyway, that's my reading challenge. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Morgan the Rebellious Reviewer, and I'm out.